Hello everyone, welcome back. What I've been doing yesterday was just in this mine over here, just making something out of the walls and the floors and the ceiling, Finally put a door here. It's like, yeah, zombies, if you're knocking at the door, don't come knocking at my door, because I'm gonna just go blah, blah, blah. So anyways, I've been working on this a bit, and more on this big room here. Just, turn on something on YouTube or whatever. I was watching a lot of Joe Santiago, whatever his name is, and it's just funny with some of the stuff he says. So I'm like, just building whatever here, and then I just listen to him in the background. He's pretty funny. One thing that I definitely agree with him about is like the important update video, where he talks about how that cell phones or technology is taking over our lives, as we would sit somewhere or sit anywhere in the house or whatever and would just be on our cell phones. And he said that he was in Manhattan because he's from New York, and he seen that everyone around him was on their phones, wasn't even paying attention to where they were walking or anything of that. So I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, that's pretty much how it all is. That's like what I have in my head, but I never know how to express it. And he just hits it right on the money. Right on the money maker. So I just might as well keep working on this here, just completing this wall as I just sit here and talk. So yeah. Oh yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but I think I did mention a bit about Resident Evil 7. Ding. But I seen that people were like saying, "Oh, it's not like Resident Evil, the old ones," and I'm just sitting there thinking, "Well, guys, well, what do you want them to go back to, like how the first one exactly was, like shitty graphics and bad camera angles? Do you want that?" But then they will just complain and say, "Well, we want it to be like the third one," and I'm like, "Well, it evolved into the third one, but oh, wrong one, wrong again. But they're like sitting there complaining. It's like, oh, it's not like the first one. It's more like or it's more like the Silent Hill games, or it's more like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, they took parts of that movie or game and did something with it, instead of like everything that is meant for a movie is all like it's all been used before, and it's never going to be not used, if you know what I'm saying. Like it's always going to get used, no matter how you put it. Like I can make a story where at the end of the movie the two lovers die, and what's the first thing that every time we think of when the two lovers die at the end of the movie? Romeo and Juliet. Like, and then people will be like, "Oh yeah, you're just stealing Romeo or William Shakespeare's plan or idea." And I'm like, well, how the hell would you want to end? Or I would have a story like Disney, and it's like, "Oh yeah, this is like Disney, total rip off of Disney." I'm like, well, I was inspired by Disney, and like they could be inspired by the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Saw, or the Saw games, like with some of the challenges, like anything. I don't even know what that movie's called, where he had the girl and she had like long hair and there was a well or something. I don't know, but they picked on it in Scary Movie 3. I don't know the name of the movie, but people are like, "Oh yeah, it just sucks," and I'm like, well, give it a chance. And then people's like, "Well, I enjoyed playing 6. How the hell do you enjoy playing 6? Like, I didn't mind 5. I knew it was more of an action sort of thing, but at least it made a bit more sense to me when I was a young kid. But you would say that 6 is better because when people just go, "Oh yeah, I played 6," and it's like they're bashing at Resident Evil 7 and saying, "Oh, it sucks," when Resident Evil 6 was the worst. Like how can where did Sheva go when you were Chris? Like, I know that you had your friend Piri or whatever his name was in that game, and I'm like, well, you had him, but what happened to Sheva? Hello? You don't like your old partners? Like, I guess Jill was a one minute thing, you know? Damn. But it's just stuff like this where it's like, it's not that bad of a game, man. It's just, they're just taking a left turn instead of a right turn, trying something new. I know that they would be ripping off whatever, but it'd still be in their way of saying, yeah, this is how we're making a game. And you'd want to have a game to be more like what? Call of Duty? Because every single game, even on, like, I downloaded a game the other day off of PSN or PS Now, and it was just another ripoff of Call of Duty. First person, you could run. There was different mechanics with how you can attack, like a sneak attack. There wasn't no like melee with pressing the R3 button or pushing in the trigger. And I'm like, this is totally a ripoff of Call of Duty. But yet, people just go like, yeah, it's alright. But this is what I would rather. I'd rather play a game where, like, Siphon Filter, where it would be its own unique way of playing a game without having controls as much as close as Call of Duty. But in a way, we are like, I'm kicking myself in the ass because I know that when I play any other game, I'm like, okay, is this, so what controls is this? Is this like Call of Duty, or is it like another new interesting way? And I'll get used to it, but it's, yeah, you guys get what I'm saying. It's like, be your own unique way of playing a game. Like, have another action button, like the old, like in Metal Gear Solid, the first one. You need a, I think it was like circle was X and X was triangle, at least for us over here. And then I'm like sitting there thinking, leave me alone, Slimer. I don't even know where you guys came from. Knew something was slimy behind me. But yeah, I didn't understand like why when I would play Metal Gear Solid on my PS3 and press X, it would be like nothing's happening. Then press another button and then it's like, okay, circle is the OK button. But then I would normally traditionally just go to X, and it's like, okay, you went back. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, again, my point is just saying, be your own, do your own thing. Don't steal something that Call of Duty made popular and just made more sense. And I know it would make more sense, but in a way, you can still use the like this, where the trigger buttons are your aim and your shoot and all that stuff, but have like different buttons be different things or do it in a different way. Or you could have, or do what like they have in Zelda, where you have your buttons at the top of the screen, and they could tell you what each button does. At least that they be doing something. I know that it might get in the way, and there might be an option to turn it off or turn it on, but at least it'd be a nice way of doing it instead of doing it the traditional Call of Duty way where you're just stealing someone else's idea. And there you go. They're stealing Call of Duty's idea with having to press the buttons in the way it was, the way it is. And then that just comes full circle and says, okay then why can't Capcom copy whatever in Silent Hill or whatever? No one's batting an eye about that one, are they? I guess not. So, my opinion on Resident Evil 7 is it's interesting. It's taking the series into a new direction. I know they're making trying to make a new thing with Resident Evil 7, or trying to make a new kind of series after 7. Because if no one played the DLC with being Chris, then you wouldn't really understand more of it. Like, one thing is that I had no idea what Chris was doing when he was at the end of the game going, I'm Redfield, and then all of a sudden that's it. And I'm like, what? Who? Oh, is that a witch or a wizard? This is not good. This is not good. Oh, witch. Found in swamps, attacks by throwing potions and drops potions when killed. Okay. Alright. I know this is meant for a kid sort of game, but it's still my channel. I can talk whatever I want to talk, like, oh, okay. So it's just different things like that, and I don't like it where we only go towards Call of Duty every single year. Every single year it's Call of Duty, but everyone's taking and stealing the idea of going first person in every single game these days. I remember back in like the early 2000s that I'd be playing my PS1, and then all of a sudden I would say, hey, I feel like playing Duke Nukem Land of the Babes, because it's the third person that I could see my character instead of a first person like this. But I could still do this, but in a way each game is different, as in the way you play it, and the way it looks, and the way you view it, and how you can view it. But playing that game was a lot more fun back then when I played the Duke Nukem 3D game. But now that I'm older, that I understand that Duke Nukem 3D is a lot funner, is a lot more fun than Land of the Babes, because it really wasn't. Just the way it was presented, I'm guessing you could say. So yeah, but other than that, I don't know what to do with this room besides making it more open. Might do some more work to this. It's kind of janky. But I can't wait until Rendog gets back from his vacation, because he went to South America, because that's where he's from, but he spends his time in somewhere in the UK somewhere. I know I think it's like in England somewhere, or could be like, I don't know where, but he has the accent of someone from the UK, and just says that he himself said that he adapted to the way they speak over there, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And yeah, so he still would have this I still don't know how they do it, but he would have this way of saying, okay, every week or every so days play this or this or that, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. I've seen it happen before, but I just really don't understand how it works. So yeah, that's my take on how the industry is going now. Whereas that everything is more focused on, if it's like Call of Duty, it'll sell, because again, Call of Duty is so popular and so good that like they could literally do nothing but take a shit in that game and everyone will love it. I don't know how, but everyone will love it. And I'm just sitting there thinking, well, that's pointless. Another thing to say would be as much as the Metal Gear Solid series has come to an end, because the man who made the series isn't part of making the series anymore, because he quit Konami. Or yeah, Konami. It was Konami, yeah. And I know that he's making a new game with this other... Hold on a second, I might sneeze or not, so be warned. But he's making this with I don't know his name, like his real name, but I know him as Spud from Blade 2, and Daryl. I think it's Daryl. Yeah, it's, or is it something else in The Walking Dead, where he wasn't in the books, but he was in the show, but people love him. Yeah. But I think it's gonna, like, I think that I know that the series has come to an end, because it just sucks now. Pretty sure. And when you look at Minecraft, you're like, okay, this YouTuber is going to talk about childish things and all that stuff, and that's not me. Like, I talk whatever I have in my head, in my mind. I feel like I want to talk about this, or I feel like I want to talk about the Resident Evil games, and like, I could go on and on and on about Resident Evil and how they're not knowing how the series started, because I know that the jump scares is kind of cheap, but it's a lot better than just going from point A to point B and then all of a sudden you just had to fight these villagers, or you had to fight whatever. But that's not what makes a horror game or a horror movie interesting. Like every episode in The Walking Dead, you don't see them always fighting zombies. You see them like evolve into something else before the next zombie appears, or they didn't know that a zombie was in like a barn, but all of a sudden the zombie appears. They're stung of saying, "Oh shit, what do we do?" And then if it's like, what's the Carl? That's the kid's name in that show. Whereas if it was Carl and this other girl or whatever, that they don't know what to do, because it's the first time they've ever seen it. And again, it could be evolved in that way, and it's very interesting. And I kind of forgot where I went there, where I was going with that, but it's something. They're trying something different, but in a way, I like, man, lose the friggin' cowboy hat. Like how old are you now in the story? Like, dude. And I'm not one for guys who have long hair. Like, I think it was stupid when he had the cowboy hat like on for X amount of episodes when he was young, but now that he's like a teenager into an adult, it's time to lose the damn hat. You're not the sheriff. You're not the sheriff as your dad once was. You're not going to be the sheriff unless that something goes, oh, well, if this guy's going to die, if his father's going to die, he's going to have to take his place. And then that's when it would be make a lot more sense of saying, I'm going to be the next one in charge if I wear this hat. But no, it's just more stupid. Like, it was like fatherly son sort of thing when it was when he himself put the hat on his son, and it's like, you keep that. And it's like, okay, he can keep that, but he doesn't have to wear it every single time in an episode. But I think the last time I ever watched that was in like season 5. At least, I think I remember when they, I think they were still the prison, or they were escaping from the prison, and then they found out that all the ground was infected because of all the whatever got into all the ground, or maybe from all the people they buried. But yeah. But what made me stop is that when people say, well, it's just going to kill you to not see the next season in season 6, so you might want to stop right now and just watch it later. And I have never watched it since. I think it was like the last episode. I didn't watch the last episode because I knew it would just encourage me to say, okay, we need more. I don't know. But that's my little saying there. And I know it wasn't like that exciting, but we still got something done. Made this room more open. Still don't know what I'm gonna do with this. Maybe I might just clear that, and I wouldn't even bother putting any railings. It would just get in the way. It would be something if I could get like doors here so that nothing could come down here. Like again, that witch. Whoa, wasn't expecting that. Huh. But who knows? I might just continue on with the stories of saying how Resident Evil 7 is doing now. I might say that more into the other videos that I will make today. Like, yeah. Like, wow. But I want to, like, again, I want to just make sure that everything is the way I want it to be until I go and explore for another village, or go see if there's another cave. Like when I was in the caves over there, in that direction, I was like, oh, I lost myself. I don't know where to go now. And put those back. Get these. There we go. So it was just a normal episode today. It wasn't like anything special. Like none of my episodes are special. Just me just playing. And I'm just new to this game. Like I'm not a huge fan of this game. Like, again, why get into a game that doesn't have anything that much to do with it? Like fighting the Ender Dragon at the end of the game, where it's like, what's the point of fighting an Ender Dragon if there's no story? It's like, well, this Ender Dragon killed my parents. Well, how did he kill your parents when you're the only one that's there? Something like that would make a lot more sense. Like in Marvel, where every character ever to exist in that series is my parents died, or my parents abandoned me, or something. You can't figure out another way of saying, well, my parents got a divorce, and then all of a sudden, blah blah blah. Because I'm pretty sure within the hundreds and hundreds of characters they made, I'm pretty sure they're all with the same story. My parents died, my parents abandoned me, my parents did this, so I was sent to live with Aunt Mary. And I'm like, but how did Peter Parker get to Aunt Mary? It's weird. Hey, buddy. You're not cross-eyed, you're going the other way. You just want this. Don't be lying to me. You just want this. All you guys want this. All you big buddies want this, huh? Yeah, you're not getting it. You're not that lucky yet. But I like looking in the furnaces. That's what they're called, the stoves, whatever. I like looking in them and just seeing that if I forgot to take anything out of them. But I'm pretty sure I left meat or something in these. Or clay. Or no, I didn't. Well, that was something. But the question still stands, what to do after I make this video. My time's almost up. Like, should I just continue on working whatever this room will be? Or should I continue working on just the ceiling up here and then just keep working on the wall, the ceiling up there, and all that stuff? Finish this wall. But I was experimenting with that brick that looks like dirt. Oh, this. I think it was like one of those whatever bricks they're called. I don't know what they're called. So I was looking at them and I was like, well, isn't that an interesting thing of doing it like that? Whatever. Then I made some sandstone, and I was like, well, I could add that into the entrance, but I'm pretty sure that wouldn't make sense. Or would it? Since we're next to a lake, kind of would make sense. Well, I'll go down there and I'll do it for Mother Lasha. Great actor too. He was pretty funny. Anyone who doesn't like Mrs. Doubtfire can Miss Doubtfire yourself, because you have your doubts. Used in buildings material is not influenced by gravity like normal sand. Well, that's good. I'll just put that there. There we go. And I'll use my secret entrance. Okay. Now, I think I gotta put pressure plates outside there. But, I'm getting way too ahead of myself here. Got a lot of stuff to do in this. Okay, so I think that, that'll be it for this part. And, hopefully, I'll have some more stuff for you tomorrow. See you later.